Today we are exploring the wonderful world of tabletop RPGs with this little card-based game called For the Queen, where we've got a narrative world that we're creating, and we've got our queen here, and we're going to get question prompts, which is going to sort of let us explore the world in relationship to the queen. First, we have some backstory. The land has been in turmoil for as long as any of you have been alive.
The Queen has decided to undertake a long and perilous journey to broker an alliance with a distant power.
The Queen has chosen all of you and no one else to be her retinue and accompany her on this journey.
And the Queen has chosen you because she knows that you love her.
At some stage during the game, this prompt card will come out. The Queen is under attack, do you defend her? Which sort of allows you to ramp up the story, and you can actually just sort of put this in to how, depending on how long you want the game to go, is how sort of high or low in the deck you put it. We're going to put it right here for the moment, and we're going to start telling our story about our relationship to the Queen here. The Queen has ordered you not to speak to another member of the routine. Who? Do you know why? I've been angry at the Queen's brother for a long time. My words have grown bitter, and frustration has seeped through every moment I've been with him. I now can no longer speak to him, as per the order of the Queen.
There's just a lot going on there. I don't want to go anywhere near it.
Yeah.
The Queen ordered you to do something you knew you would regret. Have you forgiven yourself for doing it? Thought long and hard about it. It's hung over me for a long time. It's dwelt on my brain and on my soul for many years. But yeah, I think I'm over it.
The Queen once asked you why you serve her. Did she get an honest answer? In this kingdom, sometimes you don't have any option but to serve.
You had a vivid dream about the Queen. What about it surprised you? I didn't know if it was her magic or one of the other enchantments along the land. And when I went and asked some of the advisors about this, they couldn't give me a straight answer either. And it's a mystery I haven't been able to solve since.
The Queen made you feel something you never felt before. Do you want it to happen again? There was a moment, I think, I saw her without her guard up, without her enchantments of protection, and I think she was vulnerable for just a moment. It scared me.
This is bordering on heretical speak. The Queen made a dire threat before this journey began. Do you think she'll carry it out? She's capable of a lot, but I don't know if she's capable of that. But the times are what they are, so I guess we'll see.
I don't think she's made empty threats in the past, though. If you left or were dismissed from the Queen's service, what life would you return to? It was a pretty easy transition from banking for nobles to managing the treasuries of the Queen.
When was the last time that the Queen embarrassed you? I'm not sure why it is. She's got so many people in her service, and yet anytime it's these meaningless tasks, it falls to me. And even the new guards or the new servants, it comes to me. And I've been serving her for so long.
Some would say the Queen is not your queen. Why do you serve her anyway? Oh, it's just the way it is, isn't it? You know, you grow up with a monarch, just always there. You don't really question it. Sometimes you do, but, you know, life goes on.
It's a dangerous thing to question her word.
When was the last time the Queen gave you a compliment, and why have her words stayed with you? It was many winters ago, and the fact it was that long ago is why it's so important.
When was the last time that the Queen criticised you, and why have her words stayed with you? Unfortunately, not many winters ago. I think it was only last spring, perhaps. As to why, I spoke up. I said I didn't want to do one of those tasks, and I understand that that was wrong.
Her words are biting. How does the Queen remind you of her status while on the journey? Her very presence changes those around her. You can't help but notice, feel a heaviness in the air when she's present. There's something powerful and primal and royal about her.
Plus, we're legally required to have a portrait of her in all of our homes.
This is true.
What question do you wish you could ask the Queen? What keeps you from asking it? I've wondered why she tore apart our family so, but to ask would only make things worse.
I have to presume she has her reasons.
She always has her damn reasons.
You arranged for the Queen to be ambushed on this journey. What did they offer you? A chance. Some respect. Which I think she gives, but if she does, she doesn't show. I hope it's the right decision.
We're starting to see a picture of how our relationship with the Queen and those around us is growing through these prompts. I wonder how it will change and grow as we keep playing. The Queen sometimes shows interest in your personal life. How do you respond to that? Why? Having her attention and her focus on you, her eyes staring into you, can be it's everything and too much all at once. I don't know if I like it.
At least it's something.
What is something you do for the Queen that has prepared you well for this journey? I keep my faith, despite wondering sometimes why I should. I say my prayers, I swear my vows. I sleep early and eat a hearty breakfast.
Do you think that's enough?
That's a big philosophical question.
I guess we'll find out.
You're right, I should eat a second breakfast.
What do you usually do for the Queen? And why does that make you an unlikely choice for this journey? I manage a lot of the tough decisions around the kingdom, the queendom, as it may be. And if something were to happen to me on this journey, I'm not sure that I would be so easily replaced.
What promise did the Queen make to you before this journey? Do you think she'll keep it? She offered my son opportunity. One that perhaps will earn him a better path than mine, and perhaps will see him and his family one day break free of the servitude that I am stuck in. As to whether she'll keep it, I wonder if she'll be able to.
When did you know that you would never forgive the Queen? Her gaze left me revealed and naked almost. Not physically, but it felt like she saw everything. Things I had never shared and never wanted to share. And I don't think I can forgive her for that.
You saw the Queen do something terrible. Did you come to respect her more or less afterward? I don't think Her Majesty really cares how much we respect her or not, so long as we serve and comply and obey. Terrible things happen. I've done terrible things. It's war. War's been going on our whole lives.
What do you do for the Queen that no one else could? As I said, I make the tough decisions around the kingdom. I don't think that many other people have the guts.
You sometimes think you might be the Queen's favourite. Why? And why does this worry you? It seems that the only favouritism I have is that she knows I'll get jobs done. I don't suspect she knows how much that displeases me, given the nature of half of them, and that I'm sure I could be capable of more. But I guess in time I've come to respect that at least I feel that she knows that she can rely on me.
You've shown yourself dependable, but loyal? We shall see. The Queen thinks more highly of you than you do yourself. How do you know this? Ever since my fall, ever since my anger and hatred directed at her brother, I knew I'd overstepped. I knew things had changed. But I was surprised at her mercy. Maybe even her forgiveness.
What did you bring with you that endangers the Queen? I mean, anyone could be listening here. I think the most dangerous thing of all is a mind that looks elsewhere and thinks freely.
That is a dangerous answer. What did you bring with you to protect the Queen? A sharp set of eyes, strong willpower, the ability to do what needs to be done.
It's a shame you don't know the threat that she may be under.
I mean, there's that kind of battle axes too, right? Like the squires.
Yeah, I mean, I was
around
thinking more
most.
them, but maybe just a good swing with the axe. Part of you wants this proposed alliance to fail. Why? Part of me wants it to fail. Part of me thinks that this alliance it's only sustainable in the short term whilst there is a need, and that it is not in the long-term interests of our people, for we have no real resources to gain other than military power, and they have all the resources to take from us once this conflict ends. And with their troops inside our borders, I can't understand the reasoning.
Is that why you organised the ambush?
There's a lot of reasons that that's been organised. But surprisingly, that wasn't one of them.
As we draw more cards, we start to see a sort of tangled web of narrative that we're exploring between ourselves and between the Queen. Soon we'll ask the question. We return to our tale of For the Queen. The Queen trusts you, but no one else in the royal court does. I spoke my mind too freely, my anger too loudly. That lingers, and it creates divide.
It's interesting, we all have our issues, and yet every time the table assembles, you're always the first to speak. And it's never a speak, it's a shout.
What is the most difficult part of the journey? What makes you so adept at overcoming it? I mean, the marching sucks. The marching is no fun for anyone, but you know, I'm fairly fit and able. I get by, I'm long-legged. I can stomp through the mud better than most. I think it's like any military campaign, though. It's the shut up and wait. It's the boredom in between. You know, I like to play games, count numbers in my head, take stock of the landscape.
I think the difficult part is not knowing whether the people around you have the same ideas as you.
The same loyalty, the same love.
This journey isn't just about diplomatic negotiations. What else do you suspect is going on, and why? The Queen wouldn't invite me just to have a friendly chat with another nation. I'm here because bad things are going to happen, and I need to be there to either stop them or make sure that they happen. That depends on whose side you're on.
And how close by the card of battle axes is.
You once saved the Queen's life. How? I suspect it comes down to why she still has me do these meaningless tasks, or tasks that perhaps others could do. And I remember one day when the dignitaries were arriving for a feast, and we had some foreign guests from the nation we are now at war with. And they had snuck in. And it was my simple job just to greet them. But I had done my job right, and I had known that these people were not to be there. And I raised the alarm. And lo and behold, when the guards seized them and their cart was searched and barrels of explosives and crossbows and all kinds of implements of war were found, she thanked me. She said, "You've possibly saved my life." I thought I was just doing my job.
A soldier's duty.
Indeed.
The Queen is under attack. Do you defend her? Immediately, vigorously, with my life, I defend her, protect her, and attack her enemies.
Sod it. Down with the crown.
I knew this would happen. That's why I'm here, after all. But they won't lay a finger on her.
I have to at least make it look as though I'm trying. But I have to ensure that I do not try hard enough.
And that is for the Queen. We've just sort of played a little shorter version of the game. What did you guys think?
It reminds me a lot of the theatre class warm-up games to play in high school. I actually really like it. I think those things are fun and cozy and especially good with a group of people you don't know super well, or just to warm your brain up. And yeah,
It's very confronting. You sort of, from your very first opportunity, you have to carve out a space for your character and know who you are. And you get to build on that over time, but there's no easy questions where you just get to opt out and give a generic answer.
That is very true. Confronting, I think, is a good term for it. It's an interesting reflection on how you're building that character. I think it'd be very interesting to see how any of our characters would have gone had we had different questions, had we, built a different narrative from the start. I think that's a very interesting thing to explore as to why we have come to these characters as well.
We sort of talked a little bit between segments is how much the Queen you pick sort of creates the tone. Because I think if we had chosen, there was a couple of sort of more Disney-fied princes, the story would have been very different, which I think kind of makes it interesting for sort of replay value, that you can really, maybe you want to set it more futuristic and you can really change how you approach the questions. Would you play again?
I think yes.
Yeah.
I'd be very interested to see what different things start to come out of it, especially with different groups of people, different initial prompts and whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely a sort of social exercise more than a game with a winner. There is no winner of this.
Well, is the Queen alive? That's the question. How much did I pay?
As you said, playing it with different friends groups, playing it with a different Queen imagery, getting different questions each time you play it. I think there's a lot of replay value there, and I would definitely play it again.
Yeah, I think it's really clever. I think it's a really elegant little design. I like that it's broad and loose. It's the kind of thing where I could say you could do it Love Letter and do 20 different versions of different IPs attached, but I think what's interesting is that it's kept broad and kept you to the player to decide organically what your setting is, what your time period is, what are the rules of your universe. That's kind of where the magic lies.
And I guess also is there's very little rules overhead. You're basically just reading these little cards out, which sort of tell you how you can do it. You can decide to change the length of the game, which I think is important. Sort of variability of like, we knew because of how we're filming it when we were going to reveal the question, but you're just going to slot it, put it into the deck, and it's going to come when it comes. We sort of, at some stage, you can like, did I be coming close? I got to sort of see if I can tie into what I maybe, the storylines I kind of want to tell. And you sort of get prompts sometimes that, like, oh, this is sort of taking me in a different direction. And sometimes you're like, oh, this is similar to the other one. I can reinforce the ideas I had before. So it's kind of interesting that you can sort of feed off it a little bit. That was For the Queen. And thank you very much, Sean, Jam, and Jim, for coming down and playing the game with me.